Hey, it is CEO check-in time. Welcome. Today we have joining us Carline Beaubrun, who is the founder of Events by Carline, a successful events company. She's a mentor in Million Dollar Women. She was one of our keynotes at the Million Dollar Women Summit last year and was just so beloved by everyone who attended that we decided to bring her back on. In fact, in honor of the Million Dollar Women Summit, which is coming right up on April 22nd and 23rd, grab your ticket if you haven't already. It's really like around the corner. It's in about a week. We are honoring the summit by bringing back some of our past speakers and panelists. We had Carrie Kirpin on last week from Likeable Media. It was a fantastic interview. If you missed it, please go watch it on IGTV about the importance of knowing your exit plan. Hello, Sayus Blog. Hello, Jessica. Hi, Carline. So happy you're here. I'm going to bring you on in a moment. Hello, Amanda. Hey, Alyssa. All right. So my go big tip today is to get your arms around your numbers. Sometimes doing our finances is the thing that we put off until it just can't be put off anymore, right? We don't look at who owes us money. We don't look at who we owe money. Maybe we don't feel comfortable reading our P&L, our profit and loss. Maybe we don't know how much cash we need to have in the bank over the next 6 months or year. You can only go so long before you have to get your arms around your finances. Now, I didn't say you had to become a finance expert. You don't have to turn yourself into a CFO, but I see so many women with their head in the sand like an ostrich. Like, well, if I just ignore the numbers, maybe they'll go away and I can just focus on the marketing and the delivering of the products and services and the part I love. But no, we need to get our arms around our numbers if we want to grow our business. And I'd love to hear what Carline has to say around that. I just got off the phone this morning with one of my one-on-one coaching clients who had a meeting with her bookkeeper coming up, and she just had a board meeting, and she realized she didn't know what her margins were. She didn't know what the P&L meant. And so we went over it. We just spent about half an hour looking at her numbers. She asked all the questions that she felt were like, not smart. I remember that feeling when I didn't understand my P&L. And at the end of the half an hour, she did have her arms around the numbers, and she did know what to ask her bookkeeper for, and she knew what to present at her board meeting. She's running a $1.2 million fast-growing business. And, this was one of her missing pieces because guys, ladies, the numbers don't lie. Right? I say that all the time. The numbers don't lie. We can tell ourselves a lot of stories about what's working and what's not in our business. But once we look at those numbers, especially if we get in a great habit of looking at them, at least every 2 weeks, I meet with my bookkeeper every 2 weeks and we go over everything just to make sure that we really have a handle on where every dollar is coming from and where every dollar is going. All right, I'm going to get off my soapbox about this. Thank you for the hearts. I know this is not always the fun stuff for us, but it is so important. Hello, FYLINYC, who joined. Hey, Jessica. All right, well, let's bring Carline on. What's going on in your world? I'm so happy to see you again. Hello, beautiful.
Hi.
Nice to see you. How are you?
You too. I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. I'm single-handedly bringing in spring with my springy dress.
Beautiful.
Thank you. I had the little jacket, and then I was like, no, I can't do it.
No, it's starting to really, really get nice lately. So
right,
it stays that way. And yeah.
Yes.
How's
What are you wearing?
going?
You always have like bright, fun colors. What do you have?
I have blush is my color, so I always have like a little blush something going on. But I have like a little
pretty.
blush sweater. Yeah, very light, airy blush sweater, so I don't have to wear a jacket today.
Nice. I like it. So what's going on in
you.
your world? I'm excited to catch up with you. Like what's happening right now? And then let's back up and tell your story a little bit for people who haven't gotten to know you yet.
Yes. Okay. A lot is going on since COVID. COVID has kept me busy. I've had a lot of time to do things that I've always wanted to do or had on my mind to do and didn't get a chance to do because I'm always running around all over the place. So I got to sit down and actually, catch a breath after the whole initial, masses of the crazy of pivoting. So now we split into, two companies. We have two umbrellas under our company now. One online, fully online, where everything could be rented, purchased online. So that was a whole project all by itself that I've been wanting to do forever.
Wow,
so
congratulations.
Now we're doing that. Thank you. Thank you. We are also, oh gosh, I got a new puppy.
Oh, so fun. There's a lot of that going around.
Baby.
What kind of puppy?
We got a Maltipoo.
Oh, so fun.
She's taking a bath. Must love that. She's taking a bath, so she's good. I'm sorry?
I said the kids must love that. Did they lobby for it?
Yeah. That was one of the highlights.
That's good. That's a silver lining.
Yeah. So what else? Oh my gosh. So I launched a wedding and event design academy as well.
Wow.
So that'll be launched in October. That will officially start that in October.
Who is that for? Is that for like event planners who do weddings?
Yeah,
or who is that for?
Yeah. Anyone who wants to learn the aesthetic side of events. So event design, florals, how to put, transform space.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Is it only for professionals, or like would brides take it?
It would be for professionals more so. I think it's more from the professional side, so that you know how to work with your clients, so that you know how to, design a space, the measuring, all the aesthetic work, the logistics of how to transform a space. So it would definitely be for more the professional side. And yeah, so that was a big project for me. I've been waiting to do that forever. So I finally got a chance to do that. I'm working on a book as well. So very excited about that.
Yes, that's fantastic. Yes. Can you say what about, or is it a secret?
Oh, definitely. It's a memoir mostly about my life. Very, 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 also catered to the, self-help, department, the genre of self-help. I love helping women, as you know. I love helping, those who've gone through so much difficulty or going through something and feel like they can't do it. So I tell a lot about my story, my life story, things that's happened, and according to, like entrepreneurship, motherhood, marriage, divorce, domestic violence, narcissism, like everything that, I've gone through, that I've learned from, and I'm able to share and give back in a way that others can learn from. So
well, I have to say that those of us, Carline, who got to hear your story last year at the $1 Million Women Summit, it was like instructional, it was moving, it was fascinating. It was also inspiring to see how you've taken things that, were tough in your life and turned them into an opportunity to help other people get through those same things. So I cannot wait to read it. And I know there will be many women in our community who want to help you promote that too. So then, let's back up, because I know there are women who, got to know you last year and who are coming on today because they were like, Carline's back, I can't miss this. But for people just joining today, can you tell us, who you are, how you became an entrepreneur, just like a little bit of your backstory?
Absolutely. So I am, my name is Carline Beaubrun. I'm an event designer, serial entrepreneur. I own an event production company. I have my hands in the hospitality industry, in the beauty industry, so many other things.
Real estate. Don't forget real estate.
Yes, real estate. I'm very big in diversifying your income. As we're talking about, the financial side of things, that's very, very big deal for me. And I think that's definitely helped to establish the success that I've had as well, thinking from the financial point of view of how I can make this, how I can make whatever I'm working on diversify. So, so I am in real estate as well.
And see, I know your story better than you do now. I'm gonna have to help edit your book. Like, wait,
there's so many layers. There's so many layers. And you know what's crazy, Julia? As working on this book, I discovered so many layers that I did not even give credit to as a part of who I am, and how I got to where I am. So it's just like so amazing. But yes, thank you for throwing that in there.
Yes, but it's true, having just written a book, right? It's a whole self-discovery process as well, to have to edit out like what goes in, what doesn't go in, right? What was like a foundational experience that like I have to share. Absolutely. And then what are the things that it's like, okay, maybe that gets on the editing room floor.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm also a single mother of 3 children. I've been doing this solo for 13 years now. We're gonna go
3 beautiful, amazing children. They are incredible, and a testament to you as a mom.
Thank you so much.
And now a puppy. Now when you say that,
and now I have another baby. Oh my God, I wish I could show her to you. She's so tiny.
Oh, so fun. Post on social media. We want to see.
I definitely will.
Good. Well, then let's get into the conversation a little bit. Thank you for that backstory. And, the truth is, one of the reasons we wanted to hear Carline last year, well, one, I heard her speak at the summit of our mutual friend, Karen Gamba. right? Who's doing great. And I was just like, we have to have Carline. So that was the main reason. But the other reason was in the pandemic, so many people got this rough wake up call that like, wait, my whole business just went away, right? If you're in events, if you're in entertainment, if you were in food, except for if you, managed to make the pivot, so many industries so hard hit. And, you're someone who had a very diversified approach right from the beginning. And so I think that was really helpful and inspirational for people to hear last year. Maybe you could tell us now, a year in, right? We heard from you a year ago and you were on CEO Check-In this summer, I remember. What are a couple of your like ahas or learnings, right? Coming out of the pandemic? Like what helped you to not go under? Let's just say it, right? Because a lot of events companies are not even here anymore.
Yeah. I think overall, and this is something that I preach about all day long to all entrepreneurs starting out, your initial investment into your company is going to either help you scale or is going to derail, you're going to go on a derail motion eventually if you're not careful. And I love this topic about the financials because it's really what makes or breaks you. And if you don't think about that from the beginning, it's really something that can definitely, you can fail that way. That's one of the biggest things. So as far as what I've done, again, from the very beginning, learning from the 2008 market crashing, the market crash and all the experiences that I've learned going in from
you and I both lived through 9/11, Sandy, right? This was not our first time at the rodeo here.
No, exactly. So you take these learning, these little nuggets that you learn along the way and you implement them. And so the biggest advice that I would give, don't initially take out large loans and take out large sums of money thinking that you're going to take this money is going to help you scale your business. You have to have a plan, and having a financial advisor, having your bookkeeper, your accountant, that financial team is the foundation of how your business is going to grow. And so little bit by little bit, baby steps. And so I think a lot of companies who went under, they were in such, a huge and large amounts of debt from operational costs, from initial investment into the company, that it only keeps running if you're operating and if you're able to sustain the debt. And if you're able to keep, to flow in that direction. But if you're not, and business stops, right? Like the world shut down and we can't operate anymore, then what? And so you have to think about these things from the initial setup of your business. I'm very passionate about talking about passion, taking a passion and turning it into, a profitable business. And a lot of us, we get stuck on the craft because that's what we're good at. That's easy for us. It's a no breather, no thinker. You jump in, you're excited, you love it, you enjoy what you do, and that makes you happy. That's your happy place. The unhappy place is the financials. That's a lot for a lot of people. It was for me. And I know that it was something that I had to get accustomed to working through, because again, that's what really helps scale your business. And that's what keeps you afloat. So I had to get a financial team together. I had to, trust people, get people that I can definitely trust.
What was your first hire? Like for women who are listening going, okay, Carline's right, I need to do this. Where did you start with that?
A financial advisor. That's your number one key thing. You can have a good accountant. You can have a good, a good big bookkeeper. You can do all the numbers yourself but you need someone that's going to tell you where your money should go, where every dollar should be invested, where you should reinvest. So, having someone to tell you that, to guide you along, to hold your hand, that's going to help you tell your bookkeeper what you need to get done.
And this is an important distinction, right? That a bookkeeper is not a financial advisor. I think sometimes people go to their bookkeeper for financial advice. And in fact, bookkeepers are really there to help you count the money properly, right? Exactly. But they're not there necessarily to help you plan, how am I going to make more money, or what are the right choices? Did one of your financial advisors help you think through this multi-revenue stream strategy that you started early on? Tell us about that.
Well, they helped me because I had it already. I don't know, it was something that came naturally to me, as far as like, I love everything that I do. And I think that's what started off. I didn't really realize that I was a multi-potentialite. So I love doing a lot of different things. I have a lot of different passions, and I invest in a lot of my different passions. I don't want to let any one of them go. It took me a long time for me to even figure that out, And so for me, it was just like, oh, you're all over the place. And I was really hard on myself because of that. But really, initially, when I started, my process, it was, Carline, I want, you know, what do you really want to do? And I had a hard choice, a hard time picking, you know, and so I said, why not do it all? You know, just start off with, again, baby steps. I want to do hair. I'm going to continue to do hair. This is how I'm going to diversify the hair business. And so that I can walk away from it at some point, grow my baby. It's my baby. I'm going to grow it, let it be sustainable all on its own, hire the right team, so on and so forth, and then move on to the next project. So that's how that started for me. And then it was also the financial, you know, aspect of, I always talk about rent to own, you know, so how am I going to, you know, flip this business if I want to, for that, so that it's mine completely. I remember doing a large build out, put a lot of money into a space that I rented.
Was this the hair salon or a different business?
A different business. Put a lot of money into it was a restaurant. And so I put a lot of money into the build out of the restaurant. It was beautiful. Then when it's time to go, we outgrew the restaurant so quickly, we had to move to another location. And so the build out, I couldn't take it with me, you know? And so it's just so like,
that was like a sunk cost.
So that was like, right. All these learning lessons that you learn along the way. So that for me became like, because if I take everything down, I'm going to be charged a huge sum of, you know, a huge fee for damaging, you know, the property and so on and so forth, or any, you know, any other fees that they could come up with. Right. So that I'm like, no, I'm not doing that again. So if I'm going to build something out, I'm going to make sure I own it. And if I don't own it, that's fine. Whatever it is that I put in there can easily be removed and take down, and I can take it with me. So, you know, thinking along that line, and then
that's a great lesson. And wait, let me ask you a question, if I may, because, you know, you talk about something as though everybody thinks this way, but not everybody who starts a business is like, okay, how do I make this such that I can have a team of people doing it and I can move on and do my next cool thing? Like, where, you know, that's a mindset thing, right? Go big now. It's the mindset of, I'm going to build a big, successful business. So where did you get that? Because I think a lot of women in our community are trying to cultivate that. Where did it come from for you, Carline?
Ooh, I don't know. I want to say, again, just having multiple passions. I'm really good at multiple things, and I love each and every single thing that I do. And so when it was time for me to pick a career path, I started off with the hair salon because that's what I was already doing. I was there with my mom. I took it over about 8 years in. And so, you know, for me, it was easy for me to do that. But then things started changing when I went through that, you know, traumatic divorce. And, you know, I lost everything and had to figure out, how am I going to take care of 3 kids? And so it was either you continue doing hair, but even though it was a family business, it wasn't my own. It wasn't my own baby, you know? And so I started a business within the business of the salon, 2 businesses within the business of the salon, you know, within a short amount of time, one when I in my younger years and one in my adult years. Around 2008, I had to launch my own product business because the salon, you know, everything shut down again because of the economy. Clients weren't coming in. So we launched products that, you know, clients can use at home. And so, you know, doing that was my baby, but it was still within my mom's baby. You know what I mean? So I wanted something of my own. And so I was doing events for such a long time, and I never looked at it as a career path. And so that's when I said to myself, it's either that or you get a second job or a 9-to-5 job, or, you know, where you have the stability, you have the income coming in, you know what your paycheck is going to look like. But then it wasn't flexible.
How did that option feel, getting a job option? How did that feel?
It didn't feel right for me. I wanted to be a part of my children's lives. I wanted to be there. And I'll tell you, Julia, that initial mindset, that decision, put me in a position where I never missed a football game. I never missed a gymnastic competition. We were traveling all over the world. I knew what I wanted to be. I knew what I needed to incorporate into the lifestyle I wanted to live, and the position I wanted to make sure my children had, the opportunities for them to have. And being a single parent, it's harder on you. The responsibilities fall primarily on you.
100%. So, yeah, I'm divorced, as you know, right? I mean, I
absolutely
share the kids with my ex-husband, but when there's nobody at the house to help with things, it's a whole different
thing. I didn't even have that opportunity to share them with anybody. They
were you had it all on you.
Responsibility. Right. So I had to think with that initial mindset of how I was going to accomplish this. And my main goal was to be a part of my kids' lives. And so I knew that I needed the income to be coming in on a regular. I needed to be able for it to be sustainable on its own so that I can make the gymnastics meets. I can go to the football games. I can pick them up after school. And I'll tell you, that's really what, you know,
and that's exactly what you did. It's amazing.
Exactly what I did.
Well, and I also want to just point out for people listening, especially if you read the book Go Big Now, that Carline just pointed out 2 of the key things that you need for a Go Big mindset, which is 1, the mindset of I'm going to design my outcome. I'm going to pick my outcome. To wake up every day like, gee, where is this all taking me, right? Carline knew what she wanted, and then it was about reverse engineering that. And the second thing you said, which is so important, is that you knew what was at stake, right? There was a big why behind your Go Big dream, which was to be the kind of mother you wanted to be, right? And that sustained you through so many challenging times, not just this recent one, but the prior ones we mentioned, right? Personal challenges, Sandy, 9/11. And I would guess maybe that some of the things you did during those 2 national crises helped set you up for success during this pandemic. Is that true?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Break that down for us. Like, what had you put into place that then paid off now?
So first of all, we didn't have a huge debt hanging over us. That was the number one thing. I did not have a huge amount of debt. I was able to sustain my team instead of trying to pay, you know, bills that I had no business paying because of whatever. Again, I bootstrapped my entire way up. And so it's making the money make money for you instead of you working to pay back money that, you know, everybody works different. Everybody's businesses are different. Sometimes you need that large income, but for me, that was my path. So that's what I can speak on. So I bootstrapped all the way up. And so once it was able to, you know, to sustain itself, I flipped the business. I sold it, made more money, and did it that way. And so I didn't have a huge debt going into the pandemic. And so I was able to, you know, we were able to actually sit down and think strategically about what our next move is going to be. My main focus was what our clients' needs were. How can we help, you know, our partners that we were working with? And I think, you know, those things became focused instead of, oh my God, you know, we can't, you know, what are we going to do? Financially, we're a mess. And so it wasn't that for us. So it was a lot more of, you know, the practical.
Yes. What are the new problems my customers have and how can we solve them?
Exactly.
Yes. Exactly. Well, that brings me to the other topic I wanted to cover with you, which is you are a beloved mentor in our community. So thank you.
Thank you.
We love that you get on the phone with women who are, you know, trying to figure out their strategy and their marketing, and then they get to learn from you. I'd be curious what you've learned from them. Like, have you noticed any trends? Have you learned anything from them? Talk to us a little bit about your mentorship experience, if you would.
Yes. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much, by the way, for allowing me to even be a part of that program. It's definitely something that hits home for me, as far as, you know, having someone there that you can count on to say, I need help. Can you help me? I think that's a big deal to pay forward, you know, everything that I've been able to accomplish.
Thank you for all you've been doing to pay that forward. Did you have a mentor, just out of curiosity? Did you have like a woman mentor?
Along the way, it took me a little bit for me to even figure out I needed a mentor. I was always trying to do everything on my own. And I think a lot of times we fall into that, especially as entrepreneurs. Like, if you're an entrepreneur, you're built a certain way. And so you helicopter your way everything through, you know? So it's just like you want to do everything yourself. And it's very hard. Sometimes you hit a wall where it's just like you need help. And so you got to be able to say, okay, where am I going to get this help from? So
100%, 100%. Yes.
That was a big learning experience for me as well. Like, I hit a wall and I'm like, okay, especially because I grew up in hair. So I knew everything about hair. The events industry was a passion that I had no idea was going to turn into a profession. So when I got into it, I was doing everything great. I mean, the passion wise, the skill, the talent was there, but the business side of events, I didn't know anything about. So I had to really learn that side of how the industry, you know, the real true identity of the industry, everything there is to know about the industry. So I needed a mentor. And that's when I was just like, okay, how am I going to do this? And the mentor, everything happens in good timing and the way it's supposed to. You just got to put yourself out there. And I applied for a program in the events world. And in that program, I met the mentor that completely took my career to another level. And had I
love
not
that. Man or woman, just out of curiosity?
Man.
Yeah, most of my mentors are men too. That's part of why I created $1 Million Women.
It was a woman. It was a woman. Carrie Long, I will never forget her. Carrie Long, she was an amazing, I called the program and I just needed some information and she wasn't there at the time. So they put her in touch with me. Within maybe 10-15 minutes, she called me. She pulled over to the side of the road and talked to me for like about an hour and a half.
Oh my God, amazing.
She just loved my story. She loved, she's like, tell me a little bit about you, what you want to do, like what do you want to get out of this program so that we can make sure it's the right fit for you. So I told her what I wanted to do and I told her a little bit about my background, and I was at my like desperate point. When you're at your desperate point, you tell all, because you want to make sure you get the right help. If that person is the right person to help you, they're going to navigate to your story and gravitate to your story, and they're going to help you. And so she spoke to me for an hour and a half on the side of the road, pulled over and spoke life into my dreams and told me this is step by step without even telling me, yes, this is the right program. And because of that, the vulnerability that she added to the conversation allowed me to trust her, to say that this program was going to be a great fit for me, because it wasn't just about, oh yes, join the program, it's $1,000 or it's whatever it is.
Right. She wanted to get to know you as a person. It was like a real conversation.
Right. And exactly. And based on what I told her, she told me, okay, you're going to sign up for this. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You're going to go meet with this person. You're going to meet with that person. We're going to sign you up for this. It was just like everything that I needed.
That's beautiful. I love hearing that. Well, no wonder you've been so generous in paying it forward.
Oh, definitely.
One, it's just who you are, but I love hearing that story. So what have you learned from the women in our community from doing those mentorship sessions?
They're strong. They're strong, amazing. And they have it. They have what it takes to, to go out there and do their thing. I love the passion. I love the fact that, they're so engaged in what they want to do. Some people, I'm a part of a lot of mentoring programs. And so, and even, I have my own consulting program. And so the people that scare me the most are those who are not sure. I don't know, they're not sure, they're afraid. Your women,
they're on fire. They're just like, fire. Show me the way.
They're on fire. And one thing that I've learned from them is just the fact that you show them the way and they're going to do it. And I love that, because again, that's the golden nugget that you need to be everything that you're to be on a successful path, I want to say. So
yes, and that's the biggest payoff a mentor can get, right? I mean, we're not doing it for the money. So it's like, if the person actually takes that advice and runs with it and has success, that is thrilling. Well, and it would be curious, are you seeing any themes, Carline? Like, are there any types of things that you're like, wow, a lot of women, like the way I brought up finances, right? It's something that sometimes women don't have their arms around. Are you seeing that too, or are you seeing something else in your mentorship sessions?
I'm seeing just the confusion of where to go, like where, like which path to take. Some of the women that I've spoken to are mostly like, they're confused about what to do next. And so I think that's what I'm seeing, and that's what we're here for. So depending on whether it's a life altering situation that they're going through, whether it's something that's a life altering situation that is impacting their business, that's what I'm seeing. And so whether it's something to do with their kids, whether it's something to do with their personal lives, or maybe another job that they're working through, and trying to say that trying to figure out if I should leave it, the fear of leaving that, or what to do next. And that's what I'm seeing. So it's definitely there's financial, because again, whatever decisions you make is going to impact your financial, your financial security. So they want to make sure that they're, that's secured.
And yes, and especially right now, these are all small business owners. Yes, so the pandemic, this is like one of the hardest hit populations.
Definitely.
Right? I mean, our community is 25 to 30% women of color who, if you read anything about small business owners, they were disproportionately affected, right, by the pandemic. So,
one other thing I'll say too,
please.
For those who are thinking of brick and mortar, because I know a lot of that has gone away in our time, I want you to look at it from another perspective. If you're thinking about, should I do a brick and mortar, or should I go online, and what would be best for my business? a lot of our retail businesses have gone. If you notice that, a lot of brick and mortar retail businesses
right in my neighborhood. I walk around and things are gone. Yeah, I'm sure in yours too.
So if you can, I mean, you're still going to need a working space. So you may not need a brick and mortar, but you need a workshop. You need somewhere where you'll be able to work. You can't do that from home, you know, especially as an, you know, if, as an entrepreneur, you're the head of whatever it is. So if you have a product line, if you have a service that requires that, you're going to need.
And if you have kids.
If you have kids, yes.
I need to not share the internet with my children anymore.
Yes. So you're going to need that. So sometimes, you know, reach out to people that are in your community that you can partner with and do like a, you know, co-working space, that, you know, if they have a product line and they need manufacturing space, or they need, you know, something that, you know, that aligns with what you're doing, use that.
That's a great idea.
Leverage that opportunity. Yeah. And, you know, create an environment where everyone can coexist, and, you know, you're able to, you know, take care of the overhead together and make certain decisions.
And maybe
together.
2 women run businesses, right? Teaming up under the same roof.
Yes.
I mean, look, Carline, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on is that we are, you know, coming out a little bit of the pandemic with the release of the vaccine so widely. And this is a time of unprecedented opportunity for business owners.
Yes.
Right? And so how are we going to seize that? Yeah. Do you want to speak to that a moment? And then we'll have to wrap up.
Absolutely. Do not be afraid. This is the perfect time to leverage opportunity right now, especially with real estate, commercial real estate. Everything is available. This is the time for you to go out there. Yes, it's so much availability. Everywhere you turn, a business have gone out of, you know, have left. So you have to look at these opportunities and say, don't say, oh my God, everything is closing, so that means that's a sign. No, it's a sign for you to jump in, get it now while it's at the lowest value. Real estate, residential real estate has gone up, but commercial real estate is at its prime right now for those who want to jump in. Yes. So this is the perfect opportunity right now to do that. And if you're in a service-based business, that's not going anywhere. People still need to go into a brick and mortar to get service. So if you have a particular service that you're, you know, that's your business, that's your baby, yes, find a brick and mortar space right now, because this is the time to do that.
I love that. That's such great advice. And I also hope everyone will do what Carline did, which is think about, okay, well, what new problems do my customers have, and how do we solve those? Because maybe they don't have the same problems they did a year ago, but they have all new problems that need to be solved. In fact, one of my coaching clients runs a vision center, and there are all these young people who have spent a year in front of their computers and on their phones, and they need to have their eyes tested. Some of them now have some vision issues, right? That's bringing in all new business for her. So let's just get really creative. We're all problem solvers, right? And think about, how do we deliver those products and services that people need right now? And Carline, you are such an inspiration. I'm so happy you came on. Thank you for being part of our community.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Will we see you at the summit next week? We want to celebrate with you. We're having our 5-year anniversary party.
I'm going to try to jump in. I am going to be in Mexico, so it's my birthday weekend. It's my birthday weekend, and I'm thank you.
Happy birthday!
And I'm also doing a small event there. So outside of my birthday, so. I'll be working and trying to play at the same time, but I'm going to definitely try to jump in. I have my tickets, and I am so excited, and I cannot wait to see you guys.
Well, thank you. You were a fave last year. People were still talking about your keynote a year later. So thank you for coming back on, so new people can get to know you. And have an amazing time in Mexico. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye, Carline. Have an awesome day. Thanks again. Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
That was so much fun. That's been one of the great things about leading up to the $1 Million Women Summit, is being able to reconnect with past keynotes and panelists. We've just had, over the last 5 years, some really incredible people come speak to us. And this year is no different. We have Brittany Stovall, who is also a mentor in our community, runs a $10 million company, services company. And we also are having Cameron Cruz, who is the founder and COO of R Riveter, a very cool handbag company that was on Shark Tank, that got investment from Mark Cuban, and she's going to tell us how to build a multi-million-dollar product company. So 1 services, 1 product, some amazing panelists. Go see the whole shebang at mdwsummit.org and grab your ticket. But wow, there were so many pearls of wisdom from Carline, and she's just such an inspiring, incredible entrepreneur, mother, give back person. So definitely follow her on social media. I think maybe Alyssa could put her hashtag, her handle in in the comments so you can follow Carline. And I hope you will join us at the $1 Million Women Summit in a little over 1 week. I will see you next Wednesday. Have an amazing day. Enjoy the spring. Break out the cute little dresses, and if you wear dresses, and if not, break out the cool, you know, button-down shirts with no sleeves. I will see you next week. Have an amazing day. Stay brave and go big.